Welcome to Talk Around Riyadh, the Wheel of Time showcast. I am your host, Joe Perry, here with my co-hosts, Jen Isgro, Tom Kokoza, and Brendan Johnston. Jen, how's everything going?
It's going good. We had a crazy little hailstorm in Staten Island today. Probably lasted about 20 minutes, so that was fun. I just made it in the house before it started. And other than that, I've just been preparing for tonight, thinking about episode 4, and ready to begin.
Indeed. Tom, did you get pelted by hail?
No, it wasn't hailing necessarily by me, or at least by the time I got inside the hail, it stopped. But it literally started raining as I was picking up the kids from school. So they walked out of school. The rain started to fall. So it was fun trying to get them home. My wife, Michelle, had brought with us, she forethought, a giant umbrella. It looked like a golf umbrella. It was like 18 feet in diameter. Anyway, to try and corral 2 small children to like stay under an umbrella, I found out is impossible. But yeah, other than that, like I've been the last couple of days just thinking about this show and excited to talk about it tonight.
Brendan, how you doing?
I'm good, Joe. We didn't get any hail in Jersey. We got a little rain. My lights flickered briefly, but stayed on. And when they flickered, I just shut the lights off for some reason, like a preemptive strike. I don't know, and left them off for like the next half hour until my wife came upstairs and was like, "Why are you sitting in the dark?" Just forgot to turn them back on.
So
I'm not crazy. I'm not a crazy person.
I wouldn't let the power go out on me, so I shut the lights off instead.
I choose when the lights go off in this house.
Well, I guess I have to give everybody a weather update from me, because it seems like that's the topic for tonight. It didn't hail here. It did pour tremendously. There was a lot of rain, a lot of water, some flooding, lots of water rushing down hills, because I live where there's lots of hills. So there you go. And now it's good. We're all good now. That's the weather.
With Talk Around Riyadh.
Talk Around Riyadh. All right, let's get into our...
Riyadh. There it is.
So,
I got there.
The perfect name.
Nailed it.
All right. Remember, the first half of this episode is spoiler-free. We will not be spoiling anything from the books, except maybe like book 1 stuff, which already passed. Second half, we'll let Brendan go, and we'll start talking about some spoiler stuff. So anyone who hasn't read the books can then drop off the podcast then. So before we get into our discussion, Jen, you have a recap for us.
I do. Here we go. Episode 4, Daughter of the Night. Written by Dave Hill, directed by Sana Hamri. We cold open on a Shamael entering a cave near Cairien. He channels underneath a seal in the ceiling. A ceiling seal, if you will. He recites an incantation in the old tongue, and the seal explodes, revealing a naked woman with long dark hair who is absolutely saturated in blood. She rises, and Shamael takes her outstretched hand. Lady Anver awakens and prepares for her day of sitting by a window and drinking. A servant announces that her older sister has arrived. It's Moraine, looking ragged. She immediately walks in and starts ordering the servant around, and Anver says it's been decades since they've seen each other. Unfortunately, Moraine has plans this morning, so maybe they can meet for lunch? Rand is cleaning up the remnants of Celine's inn. Celine doesn't know that he's the one who burned it down. She invites Rand to get away with her for a bit, to her family's cabin in the mountains. He says no, but she's not a big fan of no. In the tower, Nynaeve is sitting in her swanky new acceptance room alone, ruminating on her trauma. Egwene comes to check on her and is really excited to see her new ring. She tries to comfort Nynaeve, but Nynaeve responds with the most uncomfortable hug, and things couldn't be more awkward between them. Alana and her warders, plus Lan, have stopped to spend some time with the Mosvani family on their way back to the tower. There are many children running around, as well as many hens. #HenNews. Alana's relatives tease her about her potential third warder, but Lan has used a hair straightener, and it's all I can focus on. Later, Alana walks up behind Lan peeing on a tree, and urine trickling is one of my new favorite closed captions. She tells him she knows he is not going to pull a step in, but what are his plans? Nynaeve might be looking for a warder soon. Huh? Lan's not sure. Alana tells him Moraine changed about 20 years ago when something happened to her. Moraine looks through her old dusty bedroom and reminisces about her life. She takes a bottle of Gildan Red and heads to the sanitarium, where she asks about Rand and then confronts Logain, who blames her for everything that's happened to him. Well, he's right, because she literally had him sent here to meet up with and train Rand. Man, she's good. Logain doesn't want the wine, but he does want Moraine's dagger. If Logain teaches Rand everything he knows about channeling, Moraine will give Logain that dagger to do what he wants with it. Elaine and Egwene mop a hall in the tower as Egwene laments about her relationship with Nynaeve. She wants to be there for her, but doesn't know how. Nynaeve goes to the warder's quarters, but her friends aren't there. Another warder hits on her while Liandrin listens in. A woman hands Liandrin a letter about the western shore being under attack. When she confronts Lyanna about it, the keeper tells her they already sent some sisters to check it out and to basically mind her own business. Liandrin leaves with a thinly veiled threat about both Swan and Lyanna getting deposed. Elias and Perrin are traveling with a pack of wolves to find the caravan. Elias explains they are wolf brothers, but don't be stupid, Perrin, you won't turn into an actual wolf. 1 second later, Elias is chowing down on raw meat from a buck, while Perrin awkwardly tries to cook his. Elias tells him he and the wolves have been following Perrin a long time, and they helped him escape the White Cloaks. Perrin's been sending them images of Layla in his sleep. One of the wolves, who also lost his mate, feels close to Perrin and shows him his name in a vision. Hopper. Lan is reading the poem, and it doesn't look like it's a very good one. Outside at the well, Maxim tells Lan Alana asks their bond all the time, and they are still able to have a connection. If Lan wants to be with Moraine, he should go to her. Moraine asks after Rand near the burned inn. The guard knows him, but doesn't seem keen on helping her. Rand and Celine are in the mountains on their little getaway. She talks to him again about the man she used to love and how they were so good when they were alone together. Rand wishes he could have just stayed in his peaceful home where nothing was wrong with the world. They kiss on the mountainside, and this is truly a love story for the ages. Matt and Min dice in an inn, but Matt is still terrible at this. Min tells the bartender that she's waiting for someone who will be meeting her in the attic. Liandrin finds Nynaeve wallowing in the testing room. She talks to her about how hard it is to be Aes Sedai and watch everyone you love pass away around you. She really bonds with Nynaeve and gives her advice on how to deal with her pain, then drops a little nugget of info that Perrin and Loial have been captured and taken to Falm, but she doesn't want Nynaeve to freak out or anything. Lan tells Ivan about how much it hurt when Moraine said they were never equals. Ivan laughs and says, of course not. Warders are there to remind Aes Sedai they are not gods. While they're outside, Maxim has gone into Lan's things and shown Alana the poem. Moraine arrives home where Anver is waiting in her room for a little chat. She says the family looked to Moraine for help after their uncle ruined them, but Moraine never came back. While she's been away, Anver has been perfecting the game of houses, and now her son is engaged to the queen. She's taken over all Moraine's eyes and ears, and she knows exactly where Rand is because she is now the boss. Elaine and Egwene are drinking again, and I feel like we might have to keep an eye on this issue. Nynaeve busts in, throws the daughter heir of Andor out of her own room, watch yourself, Nynaeve, then tells Egwene she is off to Falm with a hope and a dream to rescue Perrin and Loial. Of course Egwene is going with her. She already let Rand die, she can't let them die too. The girls sneak through Liandrin's secret passage, and here comes Elaine behind them with my favorite line of the episode. Yes, I'm following you, obviously. Liandrin appears before them and calls Elaine a complication before knocking them all out against the wall with a blast of wind. Ruh-roh. Min has a creepy dream about her two aunts forcing her to work as a fortune teller. Suddenly, Ishamael is seated across from her. He introduces himself and says he can take away her visions if she turns to the dark. She sincerely does not like this, but her choices are extremely limited. Ishamael tells her to bring Matt to Cairhien. Rand and Celine are sleeping outside, even though there's a perfectly good cabin 100 feet away. Rand awakens to a fade attack. He has no choice but to channel to save Celine. She is horrified at first and recoils from him, but when he says he loves her, she tells him he deserves someone who will love every part of him, even the channeling, and he shouldn't hide it. Alana and her warders discuss the poem. It's a prophecy about land fear, the same thing Ishamael said when he set her free. Celine is tying Rand up in bed while we hear Ivan and then Ishamael recite the prophecy. Celine says she's a monster too. She starts channeling while sitting atop Rand and then is run through by a sword from behind. Moiraine appears and slits her throat. And this is really weird, but it's the second time we've seen a Rosamund Pike character slit someone's throat during a sex scene.
It's true.
Rand immediately channels Moiraine against the wall and chokes her, but thank the light for the 3 odes, so Rand believes her when she says that is goddamn Lanfear, so move your ass, Althor. On the ground, Celine, Lanfear, blinks and her eyes turn black as the other two race away into the night.
That was Neil Patrick Harris, right?
Yes, in Gone
Yes.
Girl.
Gone Girl? Okay. Yeah, look at
Spoiler
that.
alert for
Just,
Gone
I was
Girl.
like, this is weird, but
I didn't make the connection, Jen. That's a good one.
Neither did I. Good job.
Excellent. Excellent.
Done.
All right, let's start at the cold open, where we like to start, because it's the beginning.
okay.
Yeah. So this is the broken moon dial that Beldoman references in the first episode, right? I think we're all
Yes.
Yes.
in accordance with that. I had to rewind it because I was trying to see if it was broken, but then I realized, yeah, like this. I thought the side that was glowing, I thought that was from the one power, but I was like, no, there's actually pieces broken off there.
I only knew they were in Kyrien because I hit pause and it said Kyrien countryside.
Yes.
Like it says on the bottom. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it says that there's a couple of
More
spots.
information
I
there, yeah.
made notes onto that. I have a question about this. So the seals breaking seem like they need to involve channeling. They can't just break, right? Because the seal was already broken and Lanfear wasn't out yet. Ishamael had to go get her and channel to get her out. So
Well, that was a Shamael seal, right?
no, the one he in the
The
beginning.
original one. No, I thought that was like in the past.
What are you
It
talking
It is in the
has
past.
to-
It is.
has
What
to
do you
have been
mean?
in the past.
It's definitely in the past. What I'm saying is, oh, you're saying that's before.
Yeah, before all of this.
But what I'm saying,
Because Bail Doman had to get the piece of it. and
yeah, but the seal was already broken when Ishamael got there. That's what I'm saying.
It was?
I didn't think it was broken.
Yeah,
He
there was
exploded it.
the whole side of
There was
it.
a crack?
The whole side of it was all pieces missing. It was just like
I
Oh.
assumed that was like he was under it. I
Yeah.
assumed that was like the ground around it was like light was
Yeah, I
coming
didn't-
through on.
If it was
Not-
broken,
not
I
the
didn't
seal
notice
itself.
it.
that's what I thought too. And at first I thought it was when he channeled, it was lighting it up funny, and then I rewound it to before he's channeling, and that whole side is broken, and the sunlight's coming through because it's broken.
I did see the sunlight coming through, and I don't know what a moon dial is, but I assumed that's what a moon dial looked like.
Oh, you're saying you thought it was supposed to be like that?
Yeah,
I
I,
don't know,
thought that
it
was like,
looked-
oh, that's the moonlight comes through the holes, and I have no idea.
It
what a moon
wasn't.
dial
It
is.
wasn't like a nice little hole
But-
that there
But
was like
there were like hash marks in it.
that wasn't what, but it was like the whole
I
like
believe you.
quarter
I believe you.
section was broken off and in like an irregular pattern.
Okay. I'm not
Yeah.
arguing with you. I just didn't notice, I guess.
But is there going to be like a new prophecy about each Forsaken that has to be like recited underneath the seal?
Well,
and channeled
I don't
into?
know
Like, that's a lot of work.
because it looks like the seal was already broken before Ishamael got there. So it seems like the seal has to break and then somebody has to channel to release the Forsaken. Is that what? Well, the seal wasn't broken for Ishamael in the beginning in the first season, right?
No.
Yeah.
I
I don't know. I'm very
And it
confused
just,
about
like,
how
broke-
this works.
it broke like by accident. And like
But
Ishamael
it
didn't have to
shouldn't
be
break by
released.
accident. It's Quendi.
It was just like someone
Hearthstone.
channeled there
It's unbreakable.
near it and it just like broke.
I don't know. Keep an eye on something like that.
I don't know either.
But you're right, Brendan. Right, this is in the past. Clearly, we don't know how far in the past though. I guess after
Yeah.
the end of episode 8, but before episode 1. Does Rand say how long he's been in Kyrien with Celine? Did they mention that in like the first or second the second episode? I guess.
He's been working at the sanitarium for like 5 or 6 months.
It can't be
think
6
for a long-
months. It's only 5 months later. I think the season.
Well, it's 5 months they've been in the tower, but
It's 6 months from them in the tower. No, it's 6 months
No,
since
they've
Matt
been
touched
in
the
the tower.
dagger.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 months.
They've been in the tower 5 months because it probably took
So
them
Rand's-
a month to get back.
Yeah, so that means Rand went straight to Kyrien and he's been there ever since. We don't know how long he's been in a relationship with Celine, though.
But something got him to go to Kyrien. Something manipulated him into going there because
Not necessarily. It could have just
Not
been
necessarily.
his Taviran-ness.
No, what?
He went there for Logain.
Oh yeah.
But Moraine set that whole thing up.
He went there because Logain was there. The whole.
But Moraine sent Logain there
so
for him.
what? When did Moraine send Logain there?
What came first, the chicken or the egg? Like.
Well, no, I think it's clear he went to the sanitarium because Logain was there.
Yeah.
Maybe Logain went to the sanitarium because Rand was there.
Right, yes.
Is that why Moraine sent Logain there?
Like, Moraine sent Logain there for him. How would Moraine know that he was going there unless she already... Or, you know what I mean? Like, he would have to have been settling somewhere, and then she found out about it, and then she had Logain transferred there.
Yeah.
Or something.
It makes more sense that she had Logain transferred to where Rand is because
she can control that.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm with you, except I think it's pretty clear that Rand's sole purpose for working there is to get to see Logain.
Yeah. No, right? I know that, but
maybe he was there he wasn't working there until Logain got there.
But
he was in Cairhien.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Sure. I think Moraine put Logain there knowing that Rand would seek him out.
Yes.
And as for how did Moraine know Rand was there? It establishes that she at least had, and probably still has, some sort of contact with people in Cairhien. Because she's from there, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, but then later on, we find out she doesn't really have any of the contact she thought she did.
Okay.
Well, she still uses the eyes and ears. They're just not hers anymore.
They're just not purely hers, yeah.
Right.
The guy still gets her address. He gets her the wine. It's not like they forgot she existed.
Yeah. So we got a screenshot of the seal. Thank you, ma'am. So the part I was looking at is the part around it, which I guess is the moon dial part of it. The actual seal itself was not broken. The seal was just the middle.
Oh, the triangle parts you thought was broken?
No, if you see at like the top left of the, you can't see it in this shot, but the bottom left, like outside of the seal and right off camera, it's all the rock and stone is broken away.
But the seal just the circle?
Yeah, the seal.
Circle. They built the moon dial around it.
Yes.
No, but I mean, it's not just like the yin.
No, it's the bigger circle,
whatever.
the star.
The whole circle.
The star.
With the glowing triangles that are the symbols.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So my mistake. I was thinking the whole thing was the seal.
Guys, we'll put a link to that picture in the show notes.
All right. So that answers that question. Brendan, did you make the connection right away? Okay. All right. Moving on.
No, he was saying yes to you calling his name.
Oh, I thought he was saying yes. He made the connection. I said, Brendan, did you make the connection? And you literally said yes, like just as I was finishing that sentence. So I thought you knew what I was going to ask.
Oh,
so
I was just responding to you, like Tom just said. We're on fire tonight, guys.
Brendan,
yes.
did you realize right away that this bloody womanly creature was Selene?
I realized that 4 weeks ago.
That's true. That's right. I forgot about that. That's right. Damn it, Brendan.
So yes.
And last week.
all of that to ask me a question that was answered a month ago.
Okay. Moving on. Does anyone have a preference on who we start with or which story we start with? Start with one of these short ones.
Perrin is literally one Perrin scene.
The Matt and Min is.
Matt and Min at least have 2 segments.
Yeah.
Let's start with Lan.
Matt's not in the second one.
Let's start with Lan. Let's start with a juicy one, and then we can sprinkle those in the middle. So he's at Alana's home in Arafel, but also you got that from the X-ray, which is where Alana's from in the book. So they kept that part. I think we might have a new best line in the series, better than "That's not how roads work" or "Do you think she's up for it?" Where does the third one go? Spoken by Alana's. Is that Alana's like nephew or something or?
Oh yeah, brother. Yeah, I don't. Oh,
it was the girl. It was the girl. It wasn't. It was.
Oh, it was the girl who said it. Yes.
It was the girl who said it.
So that's a good question. Anyone want to answer that? Where does the third one go?
No. Use your imagination.
There's a lot of possibilities.
Well, I think there's three main
possibilities.
There's three main areas.
They're all together. It's not like three on one.
Yeah, the third one could go
Oh,
one of three
There's
places.
multiple different
That's
places
true.
where
And then
anybody
places-
could go. There's not
Yeah.
that's
just
true.
Yeah.
So there's actually, there's a lot of different places.
It's the variety is the spice of life, Joe.
The permutations are endless. I think I make a map up of just like Rand's penis, Maxim's butt. Maxim's penis, Alana's vagina. Maxim's
my
penis.
Jesus.
Ivan's
was,
mouth.
Well, so much for being vague about this.
was
there was zero vagueness in that line of dialogue, and therefore there should be no vagueness in the discussion of it.
Yeah, I think so. That was a great line. Kudos, Dave Hill. I don't know if that one was yours, but so Alana mentions that Nynaeve's soon going to need a water when she's talking to Lan. Brendan, do you think at some point in the series that Nynaeve will bond Lan?
No.
Okay, mark it down, everybody. So there's a lot of confusion watching this episode about what's going on with the bond, especially later on when there's that conversation with Maxim about the bond. And he's implying in the beginning of the conversation that the bond was broken. But then Lan says, like right after that, well, I've had a lot of practice. It's been masked for 5 months or 6 months, whatever he says. So has there been a change in the status of their bond, or I'm confused.
I have
Well,
a question that I thought of today for the first time. What does everybody think happened to Moraine?
Yes, that's the other question.
Do they know? Does Alana know that she can't channel anymore?
She must
No.
know that she can't
Nope.
channel.
no,
But I mean, the
know.
other ones
Oh,
do.
Alana. Oh,
but
Alana.
but what do they think? What did she say happened? She definitely didn't tell Varen and Adelaus that like she fought a Shamael of the Eye of the World. So what actually does anybody know?
They know that she can't channel, though.
No, I don't know
No
if they
way.
do. That's why I think what Lan's saying is like to cover. It's like as if him and Moraine had a falling out and she masked it.
Right. They do not know. I mean, Varen and Adelaus know.
They don't know what happened, though.
Yeah. Alana does not know. And
Yeah,
Max
okay.
and Ivan do not know that Moraine can't channel. They think that
She
They
broke the
think
bond
that
with him because
she broke the bond with him. Yes.
Okay. And then Lan's just covering by saying, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm used to it because it was masked for the last few months."
Well,
Right.
I don't.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know necessarily the mechanics of it, but Moraine did mask the bond to go into the Blight with Rand,
yeah, that part's
and
yeah.
now now she's lost her powers and presumably cannot unmask it. So what Lan is saying is correct. It's not like he's making
Right.
it up.
No, it's
But
not.
I think like Maxim, it sounds like Maxim thought maybe this like just happened, and he's like, no, actually, it's
No.
been 6 months since
So-
you did it.
I thought
No,
Maxim
but
was
he's-
saying he
Yeah.
thought the bond was broken as opposed to
Yes,
just
Yeah.
recently, and then Lan was saying that he was used to not being bonded because she masked it. It was almost like he was saying the bond was masked for a while and now it's broken. Like Lan didn't say that, but he was implying it by kind of acknowledging what Maxim said and building off of it instead of.
Right.
But
like
then
in
how
that
could
sense.
Alana bond him if he was still technically bonded?
I don't know if she
She
No,
hasn't.
no. She hasn't
No, she
bonded him.
hasn't, but I think she was like thinking about it.
They are under the impression that he is in the same boat that I'm blanking on that character's name.
Steppen.
That
No,
Steppen
well,
was
no.
in, where not that she's dead, but that the bond has been severed.
Yeah, but they
Right.
all
And that
acknowledge
he's-
that it's different because even Alana says like it wasn't broken. She took it from you. Like it's different.
Right.
And even Maxim
Right, but-
knows like you're not. It's not as bad as
No,
having
but
your eyes to
it's-
die on you.
Right, but my point is that they're treating him as if he is like that bond is over, not that it's masked, and he's going along with that because he doesn't want to reveal like what the actual situation is.
I think that it would have been
Oh.
nice to have a little scene where like they addressed that, like him and Moraine have like a quick, even if it's just one sentence in all those conversations they had with each other where they said the same things over and over, where they could have,
Well,
like when she like white fanged him, she could have said when she said, you know, Alana's taking you back to the town, you know, tell her I broke your bond. I don't even know how that even got out to Alana because Moraine can't lie.
she doesn't
So
have to lie.
Yeah, but Lan can lie.
Right.
No, but what
She-
would put Alana under the impression that their bond was broken? Somebody had to say it.
Wh-
And Maureen can't
think-
say it. She had a.
I think right. I am no longer like I no longer have a bond with him,
Yeah.
and let her read from that whatever it is. I think it's actually better that they don't have a conversation about this, because it shows you that as conflicted and upset as Lan is about this whole situation, he is still loyal and like on that mission, even if Moraine tried to kick him out. He could just go, hey everybody, F this is what's happened to me the last 20 years of my life. But no, he's still going along with trying to support Moraine any way he can. He's just too stubborn to realize, like, I need to get over myself to really do that effectively. I do like Yvonne's like laughter at the idea that he would have that he was an equal to Moraine. He's like, they can pull down mountains, buddy. You've got a sword.
They can raise mountains.
Raise mountains.
I noted that because it's a weird thing to say.
Well, there's
not that weird a thing.
R-A-Z-E?
No, I think
raise.
there's a dragon mount thing there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he's just like, why would you like? Look, you get over yourself a little bit. It's okay.
Yeah. I actually got more confused about it. My internet's kind of weak for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Can you all hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Your corner of the video has been really choppy though.
All right. Did we cover? I think we covered everything with Lan, right? We saw.
No. I want to go back to
sorry.
the fact that like Lan is doing all this stuff. Meanwhile, they 100% understand that he's like full of shit the whole time. They're having conversations with him to get him alone so that they can sneak into his room, look through his stuff, and find out what's really going on. And for whatever reason, I guess apparently Rand can't read or understand the old tongue, but all the rest of them can. Because, like, he has this poem that clearly says Lanfear is here and hints very well that she's in Carrion. And he doesn't do anything about that. And they're all like, what the F, bro? So I actually like that it makes this team, competent and shows that, Moraine is not the only person who can plot and make plans.
On that subject,
when
they find the poem and Maxim, now I know which one is which. Maxim's the white one. Shows it to Alana, and then later the two of them show it to Yvonne. Yvonne reads it aloud, just for us.
Oh yeah.
just for our benefit, because the other two have already read it, and
well, it was also for the benefit of
telling him about it.
Right, they know what it says.
They know what it says.
Drama,
they just told
drama.
him about it. I understand that. That's what I'm saying. But it's one of those, for whatever reason, it took me out of it for a second. I'm like, yeah, man, they know. They told you.
No, I was sitting there waiting to know what it was going to say, so I was excited. And
thankfully, someone has a sense from drama. Speaking of sense of drama, just to jump back to, we're going to get to other parts of the show, I swear. But I was talking to somebody about the beginning, the cold open, and they're like, why is Ishii like chanting? You don't need to use words to cast the one power. I'm like, no, he's just dramatic.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, I'm reciting a poem.
He memorized
the prophecy. You were doing If I Were a Rich Man. He was doing a chant.
That was more the arms.
Since we've dialed back to the cold open, I want to note that like a minute in, there's a moment where Ishamael is looking dead at the camera, and for a second, I thought, like, is this show about to change drastically? And now he's going to start talking to they're going to start breaking the fourth wall. It didn't, and I'm glad it didn't. But also, there was just like this 1 second where I was like, "Oh, really? Oh okay."
All right.
Yeah, they did a good job when they weaved it together with Ishamael saying it too. So
yeah,
I'm not saying it was done poorly. I'm just saying it was done. There's no reason for him to have done that other than to tell us. It's like when Benedict Cumberbatch turns to the camera in Star Trek Into Darkness and dramatically reveals that he's Khan, even though that means nothing to anyone in the movie.
Right. They're like, why just say it like that?
Right.
Okay, they're like, okay, who's Khan?
Okay.
James T. Kirk. I don't know, is that what we do? But we might have lost Joe.
Lost radio contact with Joe.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
But
Okay.
The picture's frozen, though.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're back.
That's catching up.
Ish.
All right. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, man.
Anyone have anything else about the land story? Moving on.
Anything else about the land story?
Moving on to Perrin.
Yeah, move on. Move on. Go ahead.
I think Jen looking for more land info will take as long as it does to talk about the Perrin story. So we got one scene, right? Perrin and Elias, Wolf Brothers. We finally get the term Wolf Brothers used. Finally, I think I was very excited when they finally said it. And Elias said more than one sentence. Sorry, Brendan, Perrin's not going to change into a wolf. Were you upset when you heard that?
I mean, I kind of already resigned myself to nothing cool happening in the parent parts of the show. So yeah, it was fine.
No, just like the books. They're keeping true to the books with this.
Okay.
So we learn about the visions, right? That's how the wolves communicate. So I'm going to bring this again. So do we think that's why Perrin was seeing all those visions? Like those were all wolves sending him images. So when he saw the people getting killed, the Tinkers getting attacked with the girl.
Yeah.
That's it.
It was all just wolves sending him images. Okay. How do you feel about how they're doing the wolf communication?
I think it's good.
That buck effect was rough.
What?
The vision of the buck just sort of floating through the air on nothing. It wasn't that good. Yeah, it wasn't that great. I mean, it got the point across, but my initial reaction was,
I did like when Perrin says, "Oh, his name is Hopper," and Elias is like, "Ah, close enough." Like everybody's kind of interpreting it differently.
Yeah, I like the Hopper one. I like that. I did really like him.
That was good. Yeah,
slow mo jumping,
showing him this is who I am.
Right.
I thought that was cool. I also like there were people who were upset. There were people upset because Elias, the character in the books that shows up earlier in the books, and here you go. He was there. You just didn't see him.
Oh right. Yeah.
Right? He said, "I was
the
there with the wolves. We got you out of the white." Yeah.
That's what happens in the book. So it did happen in the show. We just didn't see it.
You did see the wolves. You just didn't see him.
Yes, you didn't see him, and they didn't obviously interact at all because in the books they interact then. But
yeah,
that was kind of cool.
Kidding aside about how I don't like any of the parts of Perrin, this episode and this segment, short as it was, kind of made me turn a little bit of a corner on him. I think when the story is over, everything that happens to Perrin will add up to be really interesting and just a good part of the story. But telling it piecemeal as they're doing, and I understand why they're doing it. Restrictions of the medium, and there's a bunch of other actors they have to. But telling it the way they're telling it is like storytelling quicksand. It's just like, okay, here we go. Here's Perrin sinking into, and it's when it's over, I think I will like it. As it's happening, I don't care.
Would it be cool if somebody?
It's like a magic trick where all the pieces come together. You're like, oh wow!
Would somebody did like a super cut of just all the Perrin scenes from the first 2 seasons? I wonder what that would look like. Might be really cool.
Pretty quiet.
Yeah.
I think the show seems to be building towards, and we'll see, but I do think the show seems to be building towards some sort of internal balance for the guy by the end of the season, right? It really does look like they're putting in a lot of elements for him to develop some sort of internal balance.
It also, I mean, yeah, and it's also I have to admit it is very funny, maybe not necessarily in a way they want it to be, that this guy is trying to explore being a pacifist vegetarian and keeps getting forced to hang out with soldiers and told he's a half wolf.
It's like, don't worry, you won't want to cook your meat soon. Dude, I'm just like, I want
Do you wanna, what does everyone think about Elias's meat?
Some good meat.
Yeah, I saw some buzz on the interwebs today about people being upset with how unrealistic Elias's raw meat looked, and I thought he was eating a liver or something like that, which whatever, it looked like that enough for me. I didn't want to see him pick up carcass and just rip it off the bone.
I don't know what raw meat chewed by a human is supposed to look like, so
That's
as
good.
far as I know, it was fine.
Unfortunately, I do know what it's supposed to look like. And Gary Beadle, put a little more into the character. Get some real raw meat next time.
Did Elias eat raw meat in the book?
I don't remember.
I feel like this guy's like a little more wolf.
This is extra wolfy.
I'm still not sure he's blinked yet in the show either. We
Oh, really?
yeah.
Why? Wolves blink?
No, but just I'm not talking
like
about
a vampire.
wolves.
I think in this episode,
Garrett Needle's very like
vampires.
Elias is just kind of like
Wet-
this most of the time with his eyes like wide open. I'm not
Also,
sure he's blinked
Jen-
yet.
I know,
Also,
I'm getting
Jen-
confused.
He's kind of like a vampire.
I wasn't even thinking. I was getting confused between Twilight. I've never seen that, so I'm not sure if the vampires blink in that. But I was also thinking of Wednesday, who doesn't blink.
Oh yes, you're right.
Getting
She doesn't blink
my
either.
gothic dark stories.
Let's jump.
Confused.
Let's jump over to the White Tower.
I think I just one last thing. I honest to God think
Sure.
our discussion of the parent segment was longer than the parent segment.
oh yeah,
Just saying.
I think so. You think you might be right. We're really good at that, Brendan. We're really good at talking
true.
about like a 2-minute clip for an hour and a half. So
That's true. You are 200 plus episodes into a show about a show that has 12.
12 episodes released. Okay, back to the White Tower. We get Nynaeve's all in her accepted outfit. She got her ring there. Very cool. So she's very aloof with Egwene when Egwene comes in there. You know, she's trying to console her, and Nynaeve's just kind of, I don't know, not really feeling it. Is that just general PTSD from the test, or do you think she's got something between her and Egwene going?
Well, I'm gonna cheat.
yeah.
I'm gonna cheat because I'm like, if you watch the behind the scenes bits that come with all the episodes, Rafe specifically says that this for Nynaeve, this was treated as a miscarriage episode.
Ah,
I think that's what she's dealing with this whole time. So like, that's the kind of thing that like, I know you're trying to help, but what are you gonna say, right? And she says it later on. She's like, I lived years. Like I have years of memories that are just gone.
yeah,
of
6
child,
years.
You
Yeah.
know? So I think it's like they're still like, you were in there for a day. That must have been terrible. You know?
This part of it kind of threw me off a little bit because, and I think this was a problem that we had to an extent with the first season. The timelines of the individual storylines are very confusing because, like, we're jumping ahead of it, but Rand's side of things seems to happen literally hours after the end of episode 3, and which implies that the same amount of time has passed in the tower, but Egwene is sort of acting like, well, gosh, I don't know what to do. I've been trying to be there for, and like, it was 12 hours ago.
Yeah, she also, well,
like,
there's another clue, Brendan. You're right that it's been longer because she's. I think Nynaeve says something about I wasn't able to sleep again. Like it was multiple nights. She was having trouble sleeping for multiple nights. So I mean, at most I'd say it's at most days for them. For Rand, you're right. He didn't show up to work that day, right? They say specifically like, oh, he didn't show up to work today.
well, I mean,
not like he didn't show up for work for the last like 3 days.
No,
what I'm saying is though they didn't say
it's still smoldering.
No, I know,
Yeah,
I know that.
And then one day, so he's like, I have work tomorrow.
Right.
He didn't go to that work.
That's what he says. And then the next day, he didn't show up. And that night is the end of, right? So
Yeah.
it's 2 days later, that storyline.
Right.
How long does
did
it... Sorry.
Yeah. You were going to say the same thing.
How long does it take for word of that capture to come back to the tower? Like, how long has it been in Perrin's storyline compared to the tower storyline? And when exactly does... Like, we know... The only timeline lock that we have for everybody is Beltane. But there's no indication of how long after Beltane is the next time you see Rand.
I don't think it matters, to be honest with you, because they're all gonna wind up probably together, and I see my internet things going again. So sorry if I lose out, but I'm sorry. I don't think it matters because most of them they're all gonna wind up together at the end and that's that, and then you won't have to realize.
Here's the thing. It matters. It matters in the sense of like Egwene being baffled that Nynaeve doesn't feel better the next morning after being trapped in a magic other dimension where God knows what the fuck happened to her, makes Egwene look like a moron.
Yeah, I don't think that's what it's meant to be. Because like I said, I think Nynaeve implies that she hasn't been sleeping for multiple nights. So I think you're supposed to figure it's like a couple of days later.
Sure.
We were not going to say the same thing, Tom. I was going to say, How long does it take to get to Kinslayer's dagger
I
from Kyrian?
don't
That's
know.
a good point, but you see Carrion like from Kinslayer's dagger. It looks like
Oh,
it's probably
you
a
can see
day's
it in
run.
the
You can- yeah,
distance?
not in the distance. It's like it's far away, but like not that far away.
Like when they're on the mountain?
Yeah, you can see it.
Oh, okay.
Like the whole city there.
Yeah, it
So,
could be maybe a day's journey.
Oh,
a
no.
day.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, everyone, my
Oh,
internet's
I
Okay,
am
you're the
the host
host. You are the captain
We're still.
now.
I'm the captain now. We're still recording. We'll see what happens.
Let's talk about how great Joe is while he's gone.
Oh, he's a nice guy.
He's terrific. Be a nice little surprise for him when he's editing it. Hey, Joe. We miss you, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
buzz.
what else do you have in regards to the tower storyline? Do you feel? This is my question for you guys. Do you feel the conversation that Leandrin has with Nynaeve in the testing chamber is sincere,
I think
especially in
not
light of like
sincere.
all doubts are removed at the end of the episode? I would say.
True, but manipulative. Like, I think everything she's saying is, you know what I mean? I think everything she's saying is like, she's not lying to her about anything. I think she's like, actually feels those feelings.
That's another
But-
phrase for the Aes Sedai coat of arms. True, but manipulative.
But she's just trying to get her to, be close to her so that she believes her and she can, obviously she wanted her to get Egwene to come with her.
Yeah.
That was the plan. Like, she just assumed they were going to come together.
So I think
And,
this jumps back. So I'm watching it again today. There was some question going on about like, hey, if Leandra was so surprised that Nynaeve followed her and found this person or whatever, like it seems like she also was like, meet me in my room, and then she just left and there's a secret passage or whatever. It's clear to me now that she's like, I'm gonna show Nynaeve the secret passage so that later on, when she goes to leave the tower, I will know which way she's going. Because she's in the secret
Yeah.
passage that she used waiting for her.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, she didn't seem like she was acting when she was with the son. But
I don't know if she meant for Nynaeve to find her son, like find out where she went when she got into the city, but I do think she meant for Nynaeve to find that secret passage.
Yes, agree. Yeah, agree.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited. Next episode is going to have a lot of really good stuff in it for this. So I'm excited for what's coming. But
There's a weird moment in the beginning of this section of the show where it's the scene. I think I even wrote down the timestamps where Egwene is going to look at Nynaeve's ring, and she leans forward to touch the ring, and Nynaeve recoils, and then it cuts back to Egwene, and it is the exact same shot from a few seconds earlier, but they just cut it like a half a second earlier before she actually leans forward, and it doesn't matter, but it was so weird, and I just don't understand why they did it that way. I mean, I'm sure they had a reason. Like maybe they must have had a reason. It's another thing that like for a second, like it took me out of it and drew attention to the this is a show-ness of it all. I guess I don't know. It was just a weird moment.
So I noticed it's something I didn't notice that exactly. Like something seemed off about it when I watched it last night, but we were watching it again today, and Michelle noticed it. She's like, said the same thing. She's like, they used the same shot twice. I don't know if like they just felt another reaction shot was necessary, like it was a weird edit or whatever.
Yeah.
And the only thing I could say is this: I think over the course of the entire tower scenes, like a bunch of like subtly odd things have happened, right? That I think that there is an opportunity as the show progresses to explain some of that. Whether it's
is it like the Black Lodge, you think?
Well, not exactly, but okay. For example, there's another part in this show, in this episode, where there's like weird cuts, and it's when Ishii is talking to Min in the dream.
Yes, that's true.
Right? So
Yeah.
I think there is a possibility. There's also like, there's this weird thing in episode 3 where Egwene and Nynaeve say goodbye in the test, and then Egwene goes into the Nynaeve's room in the real world and says, I just saw her. Which she didn't since
I don't know
the
if she
day
means
before.
just.
She hadn't seen her in like a day because that the night before is when she went into the testing room, and she was they were missing each other the entire day. So like, it's not
That's
that
true.
it could be a reasonable, I just saw her yesterday morning.
Yeah.
I just feel like there are a bunch of weird things that maybe like something is happening in the tower that we're not fully aware of yet. And maybe that's the reason for it, or maybe it's just a weird edit. I'm not 100% sure, but it was disquieting, and I noticed it too.
Yeah. Also, Jen, since you mentioned your new favorite closed caption, I just want to do one more thing. My new favorite closed caption is when Nynaeve is having like her flashbacks of her memories, and the dialogue of her imaginary daughter is credited to Elnor Jr.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's because her mom is
Eleanor Senior,
Yes.
I
Eleanor
guess.
Senior.
But that's not how Senior and Junior work.
Oh,
Right.
you're right. I'm sorry.
That's-
Well, that's probably how they put them in the show, so you would know,
I know.
like which
It just
Elnor it was.
struck me as amusing. That's all.
Elnor, young Elnor. Yeah, I don't know.
Eleanor the second. That's how it would work, I would think. So, Brendan, I am curious when in the Tower storyline it got to the point where they're all in the secret tunnel. Elaine comes in. She says, "Yes, I'm following you." Whatever. Right. When Lanfear shows up, like what
Leandrin.
was Leandrin rather? When Leandrin shows up, like what were your thoughts?
Well, as I said last week, I have no idea what Leandrin's up to. So I don't know. I really had no idea. I thought it was just as likely that she was going to go with them to Thom as it was that she was going to do what she did. And so she has become a enigma wrapped in a riddle, cloaked in a mystery for me, in a good way. So,
Do you think the 1-2 punch of Min, go to this hotel, someone's going to meet you in the attic and give you instructions on where to go next, and that someone is Ishii, and girls, funny meeting you here, and then going to Elaine, you're a complication, let me knock you all out. Do you think that pushes her over the line into she's probably bad? Or you still think like maybe there's a rational explanation for all this? Maybe it's a coincidence.
I'm not entirely convinced that she sent Ishamael to the room. I think that might be a coincidence.
To be fair, I don't think. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't really know why, because one of the things I keep coming back to in this show and this story is that there is no subtlety, and there's no which is mostly a joke. But yeah, I'm not entirely convinced that Ishamael didn't just show up and start fucking with Min on his own, and there was supposed to be some other person showing up there who just didn't for whatever reason. Possibly because he was killed by a demon who wanted to take over the spot. But yeah, I don't know.
I know you have a very important meeting.
Yes. In the fourth Daniel Craig James Bond movie, there's a character played by the actor Andrew Scott, who is like a functionary at MI6, and he's antagonistic towards Bond because he wants to change how MI6 does things. And at the end, of course, because it's a James Bond movie, it turns out that he's just a bad guy, like he's just working with Spectre. But I remember saying to you after we saw the movie that I was a little disappointed because I thought there was a possibility like he was on Bond's side, but just had a different way of doing things and a different philosophy of how to do it. But he wasn't quote unquote bad. And again, that's not how it worked out. But I think / hope there's a possibility that that's Leandrin's whole deal. But she's probably bad.
I will say, as spot on, no subtext as some of the naming conventions are in this series.
That's what I mean. Yes.
I there is a lot of shades of gray subtlety, I think, in the character set here. Yeah, I think that's a astute observation. Jen, what were your thoughts on the end of the Tower storyline in this episode?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Kind of, it's well, no, we can't talk about that. We're not talking about the books right now. But
acknowledge
like,
that it's different without.
Well, it's different a little bit, but I don't know what's gonna happen. That's been like this whole show. Like, just because we read the books doesn't mean that's what's gonna happen. Clearly, it's not, because it's very different. So, what we think we know might not be the case. So I'm excited to see if maybe it's different. Maybe they're changing it, you know? And we'll see.
I guess speaking of that, do we want to move into the Matt Min stuff? We didn't talk about it. We talked about it. We alluded to it a few times. I don't know if there's anything else that you want to talk about there.
I just am, again, disappointed in Matt. Not the actor. I don't want to act like I'm disappointed in the actor. It was just like, blink and you miss him. Like, he's barely in this episode at all.
Yeah.
True
Yeah,
enough.
he is.
So, I don't know when he's going to emerge as a beautiful butterfly, as be my favorite character again. I'm hoping soon. And, yeah, Matt going to Kyrie. What's going on with Matt going to Kyrie? Like, what's
Why
that
would
about?
Why would Ishii want him there?
Like, he's not there.
Right.
So why does Matt? Who's there? What's the purpose of
Rand's
him
there.
going there? No,
Right.
but I mean that's
A
like
lot of people are there.
Who's Ishii? No, I mean who's Ishii sending him to? Who's gonna handle? Like, what's the reason for him going there? It's not just like I really want to reunite these besties, so I'll send Matt
I
to
mean,
go. Like who?
Padden Fane is working with Ishamael.
Right,
Padden
yeah.
Fane has the evil dagger that took over Matt's mind. Min had a vision of Matt killing Rand with said evil dagger. Ishamael wants Matt to kill Rand. That's why. Or at least that seems to be why.
All right.
Yeah, I that makes sense. That makes sense to me as much as anything else. Ishamael does seem to want to take an active interest in manipulating these people and not killing them, right? Like, these are adversaries that he feels like for whatever reason he could use and not just want to not to take off the chessboard, which, you know, is both helpful from a plot storyline and, like, I think it's an interesting thing, right? So you definitely get the sense, I think, that, like, at least from my point of view watching this, you get a sense like it's very different than I think a lot of fantasy, to my mind. The villains have clear, concrete plans of what they are doing, have all the knowledge, and, like, are currently working, and, like, the heroes don't even know they're, like, in, like, a plot.
Most of them don't even know they're in a story.
Right.
And
They're like, yeah, like
when
Matt
just like, my
doesn't-
boyfriend died, I'm going to school, and this is what's happening.
Right.
And I'm not working
Like-
towards any other end.
Right, like, there's these huge villains in the series, and like half the characters don't even know the villains exist, you know?
Right.
And I think that's an
Right.
interesting kind of a thing. What else we got? We got Matt. We got Randon and Celine.
Random Moraine. Did
Oh.
we do Moraine?
And Moraine.
No,
We didn't
we
do
didn't.
Moraine.
Let's do Moraine first, because the Rand
Yeah.
stuff I think is the most fun, and it ends the show. I mean, they collide at the end, but still, let's do the Moraine stuff first. Were those joints? That's the only question I have. When she opened up the thing, were those
Yeah,
three joints?
that's
No, I thought it was like yeah. They were
Yes.
joints? Why didn't she smoke
Yeah.
them then? She
Well,
forgot
they're
them when
old.
she left? No, I mean, why
They're
didn't
probably
she
really
smoke them in the
dry.
past?
Yeah. I mean,
I thought they were just like good smelling, like a potpourri.
What?
I don't know.
in huge, giant joint.
In,
like,
in huge, in tubes in a secret hidden box in
I
her
can't
room from
picture
when she was a
Moraine
teenager?
smoking a joint.
well, I think that I thought that was the point. Like, this is what
Hey.
she was like when she was younger.
She was banging.
She was back when I was banging.
And I want a flashback of like Moraine and Swan like passing a joint
Well, that's
back and
before
forth in the White
Swan
Tower.
even. It's pre-Swan. It's pre-Tower days.
Moraine being old like shook me to my core.
Yeah.
I paused it and like I literally needed like 5 whole minutes to start thinking about the repercussions
So
of Moraine being
like,
old.
as Anvir was getting ready for the day and putting the wig on, like, literally
Yeah.
as that was happening, I was like, holy shit, she's the younger sister. Like, they're so emphasizing that she's old.
Yeah.
Like, the reveal of it, like, came to me, like, a little bit before. But, like, I had no concept that Moraine clearly was an Aes Sedai for a while before she found out about this stuff.
Yes.
Right? Like, she had to have been. She's...
She's got to be like 80 years
We can hear you,
old.
Joe.
Yes, Joseph, we can hear you.
Don't-
We're back.
That was terrible.
I don't know what happened where we
Back.
left off or anything.
We're talking about Moraine and Rand. That's what we have left. So right now we're talking about Moraine. We just started.
Joe,
Oh.
were those joints? That's the only question I have. Were they joints?
I was wondering, was she a cigar smoker or I don't know. I was trying to figure that part out myself. Was that some Two Rivers tobacco in there, you think?
I think that was some Two Rivers tobacco. Yeah, I think Brendan and I agree.
Your voice went really high there.
Jen thought they were potpourri in a secret box in her room from when she was a teenager.
Like a snuff,
like
like
a
well, maybe they were the
a
stuff that you
snuff
could.
box
a
full of
snuff
potpourri.
box. I don't
Jen,
know.
come
I don't
on.
do things like that. Okay.
Neither do I, but come on.
But she
Jesus.
does.
So did you guys talk about how she says to her sister that she wants to keep a low profile, but then goes and walks out in the foregate in the fancy dress and everyone's just staring at her?
Yeah.
So
Maybe
we didn't
she
talk
wants
about
to
that.
keep a low profile, like among
For
the rich
her.
people of.
For her, that's a low profile.
Yeah.
She ain't throwing fireballs anywhere.
When she's dramatically staring at the inn, as the camera does like a pan around her.
Yes. Like she stops and
With her
stares
arms,
at
like,
it.
out
Like,
here.
I want to keep a low profile, so I'm just gonna stop right here and stare at the burned down inn while other people stare at me because I am clearly at a place here with my clean, fancy, well-made dress and these people's dirty potato sacks.
Also, I'm from here and have been gone for decades and look exactly the same. And,
That's also true,
and nobody's going to think that's weird.
Well, you think those people really know who she is, though? None of those people out there know who.
Well, you know what? They probably don't because everybody who knew
I
her
do
is
think
probably dead.
And someone said a joke.
Either that, well, they would know she's Ice to Die, though.
Someone said it jokingly, but I do think when she says low profile, she does mean in the city proper, not in the fort.
Yeah.
Because she is dressed like everyone else in the city of Carian, right? She's dressed in like the local rich people attire. So I think that that's intentional. Everyone clearly notices her there, but they're poor and don't matter, Joe.
I think that's the message we're
I
supposed
think
to
the
get.
guard might know her.
Who, Jen?
I didn't hear the guard that she talks to.
Oh yeah, she's one of her eyes and ears who's been. By the way, how awesome is that scene when Anvers schools Moraine?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's great.
Guys, guess who Dan's favorite character is?
Anvers?
Unfair. I was like, Dan, I hate to break it to you. I don't think she's gonna be around very long. She's not even in the book. If she is, she's like barely mentioned.
Yeah.
I was like, but anybody who puts Moraine in her place, he's like, I wanted to see the scene of her begging for the information.
Well, now I think we know what Dan's problem with Moraine was. She's a big sister, right?
Oh, Dan
Oh,
knew.
shit.
Somehow knew.
Well, he told me he was thinking about. Now I'm going off on a tangent.
She's an older
he was thinking
sibling.
about that scene, and it made him think about A League of Their Own.
Of course it did.
It like
Also, the
transitioned,
sun
and
came
then he
up and
started
it made him think
thinking
about a League of Our Own.
So yeah, he likes the little sister who puts the big sister in her place, on top of somebody finally putting Maureen in her place.
Yeah, I mean that's a
What
change.
really,
from
what
the
really
books.
struck me about the
Go ahead, Brendan. Sorry.
No. I was just what really struck me about Moraine being the older sister is that like it's meant to be surprising, even though they've kind of established now that all Aes Sedai age slowly across the board,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which is not necessarily how it was presented when that was first floated a couple of episodes ago. So like the idea that she's the older sister wasn't that surprising to me, but then later when she's like looking at the portraits and the picture of her and Anvers is like Anvers 7 and Moraine already looked like Rosamund Pike. So she's
Yeah.
like a
That
lot
was
older.
She's
a
like a
weird
teenager.
picture.
That kind of jumped out at me.
That's a change from the books. It's not a spoiler. Moraine's only like 40 years old in the books. She's not. She's actually the age of Rosamund Pike in the books.
Yeah.
So I was surprised a little bit that they made her the older sister.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to be her younger sister, but whatever. That's cool. Seems
Yeah,
like
I
they're
think it
aging up all
makes-
the
I
Aes
think-
Sedai.
Yeah, I think it fits. It fits what the storyline is, and like, she made a choice to not whatever. Her uncle didn't seem like a particularly good guy, but like abandon her family and not help them out, and instead she went down her own path. There's another sacrifice that she made, or whatever the case may be. And this episode clearly answered the question that we had last week of like, why is it a queen?
Yes, I wrote that
Right?
down
because she's gonna marry off.
Yeah, her son.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made a note of that too, Tom. I was like, now we know why they changed it to a queen. fit another storyline. So, which is fine, which is good, right? That's what I said. I hope that there was actual reason for it and they didn't just do it just to do it.
Emperor says, and you're not going to mess that up. And I'm retiring in a week. Like, it was like that. I'm like, it's probably going to get messed up. She's here. It's not a good sign.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see how it turns out, actually. I want to talk a little bit about that when we talk about spoiler parts. But did you mention, right, we find out I think this is the first time we learned the name of the inn that Celine owns.
Crescent.
The Crescent. Like we saw, I think people pointed out the sign, the Crescent Moon sign, but I think it was mentioned twice here, the Crescent. Which
she was trapped in the moon dial.
Yeah, the moon.
Yeah.
Daughter of the night.
Night.
Her symbol is a crescent moon, Brendan. I think it's so.
Okay.
I don't know if you. We'll talk about this when we get to the Rand storyline. I'll hold back on this part.
All right. So Maureen reveals that she's the one who had, or actually, I guess Logain reveals that Maureen is the one who had him transferred to Carrion, and seems to, whether or not it's like. That's the. Oh no, you were here because we were fighting about chicken or egg stuff.
Yeah,
but
that
like,
was at the cold open.
What do you think of that? Like, that's how deep her plots have gone. That she's been working on this from jump. You know.
I think, yeah, I do think that's correct, right? I think she finds out Rand's in Kyrien from her eyes and ears, and then says, "I'm going to send Logain there because," and then she doesn't really need to do much after that. She just needs to send Logain there, and then maybe, the word gets out that Logain's there. She knows Rand's going to go seek him out, which is what she wants. So she's definitely playing this. I want to say this though, right? There's no way Maureen on her own got Logain sent to Kyria, and we know who really was behind that, right?
Right. Yeah.
That was Swan.
Right. Somebody who apparently has been missing from the tower for quite some time.
Yeah.
Also revealed. We didn't really touch that on, but like nobody's seen Swan in a while.
Yeah.
Oh man, I missed the whole conversation about the White Tower and Leandrin and the girls, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well. All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was definitely Swan, right? And then I guess where is
Yeah.
Swan? Nobody seems to know. Except, I mean, certain people do know, but that's a whole big secret. So I have a feeling we know we're going to see Swan in this season because she was in the trailer. So
It's true.
should I make my prediction now that Swan's going to be in the next episode?
You think?
That's going to be my prediction. Put it down. I'm doing it early.
Seems like you've done so. Okay.
Yeah, so I think Swan was the one who orchestrated that, because I don't think Maureen could do that on her own.
Especially
Well,
not actually
but,
being
I
in the
mean,
tower.
Yeah, she's not only is she not in the tower, like she's vanished from the tower a day after they sentenced Logain. So it's not like she had even had time to work it out in
Right.
that time frame.
Yeah, and I think
she's busy in between.
I think
Right.
that like it has to come from Swan anyway. Like she's the one that's
Probably.
holding him there. Basically, it's not like any Aes Sedai could just like figure out how to get him out of there. I think it would have to be from Swan.
Yeah. By the way, when Anver, and I have to say it like that because they really make a point of that's the pronunciation, when she does like school Moraine and tell her, like, oh, you thought all those people were your people, they're mine. Maureen smiles kind of. Do you think, I got a sense that she was very proud of her sister?
Yeah.
Not
I
really
did too.
upset with
Yeah,
her,
sure,
more that she was proud of her.
Do you guys think that Maureen dropped the ball on purpose? Sorry.
No, well, I'll tell you this. I think that it would have to be like that, but like I got the same exact vibe. Like she, like I think, well, again, she apparently can't lie. She's honest when she tells her like, "You did a better job of this than I ever could," right? And like maybe she means because I couldn't care about it as much as you do or whatever. Like, but yeah, I think she is proud. I think she's proud of the fact that like her sister is her own woman and has gotten past just the hero worship or whatever.
Yeah, I like that. I liked her. I like the smile at the end there. So, big sister's proud of little sister.
And it seems like Anver really only just wants to. No, you're gonna talk to me. Like I just want to like have a like. It doesn't seem like I want something from you. Although maybe there is something that might be revealed. But it really just seems like no, like I won't be ignored. Like you're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna have tea. Like two sisters that haven't seen each other in decades and are trying to reconnect, and then I'll give you exactly what you want.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that too. I like Lindsay Duncan in this. Yeah, I'm glad that she was back for another scene. So that was really fun. Those parts with the two of them together.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All
right.
Should we jump to? Did we even talk Matt and Min yet?
We did. We're only up. Rand's it.
Okay, we're up to Rand. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so Rand's cleaning up the inn. I think we talked about that already. So I know this is a question. This is a burning question that a lot of people are wondering. And I don't know if we want to get into it here because I'm sure people are going to get mad that I asked this question or when we try to answer it. So I know we talked a little bit about this in the cold open. When did Ishamael free Lanfear? When did Lanfear, aka Celine, take over the inn? And what happened to the people who used to own it?
They're dead.
Yeah.
They're dead.
But she killed them, changed the name of the inn.
Did she
like completely took over and just like assimilated herself into the town and everyone just accepted it.
Yeah.
Maybe it was
it's possible that she didn't change the name of the inn and chose the inn because of the name.
Possible.
It is also possible, like, it's such a ramshackle place. It is possible she just built the inn.
Threw the inn up, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
She's
true.
like, yeah, they'll have it rebuilt in a day or two, because it's like just sticks and, you know.
Yeah, the bar's outside.
Right.
Like, they're not... like,
right. It's not like...
Yeah, it's not a Hilton.
Exactly. It's not even a Econo Lodge.
There's no concrete that needs to be poured and steel beams
So-
that need to be put up.
Right.
So it just happened that, like, her moon dial was in the place where Rand was?
No. I am very confident you're going to find out that, like, he felt the need to go to Carrion for some reason.
You think
They came to him in a
Ishamael was
dream.
messing with his dreams or...
Or
Oh,
Lanfear
so
was.
after he freed her...
She was
He
there.
got-
That's there, right? She's like...
he walks into the foregate and that inn is there and she's like, hey.
Right. I think, like, he's like, that's...
Lanfear lured
I
him
think
to
that
Carrion?
he's lured there. Yes.
Okay. All right, that makes sense.
Well,
to me.
clearly Ishamael
Right.
wants people in Carrion, so...
Yeah.
Right.
We
We
don't know.
yeah, what do you think about that, Joe? We were saying, like...
I'm looking
Matt
at
going to
anything. I have no
Kyrian.
idea why he wants them in Kyrian. I was like, oh, I think, Tom, you said Kyrian, right? That they could be going to Kyrian. And I was like, okay, but why?
Yeah.
Why are they going to Kyrian?
So Brendan had a good idea.
Okay.
Brendan's idea is Fane's working for Ishamael. Fane has the dagger that drove Matt crazy. Min sees a vision of Matt killing Rand. Maybe that's Ishi's plan.
Oh, Matt to kill Rand with the dagger.
Get them all together
Yeah. I like it.
in the conservatory.
Yes, with the dagger
Yeah,
by Matt.
with the dagger.
Lord Bloody Matt Corthan. Celine talking about her ex. How much time does she spend talking about her ex-lover in this season so far? I think maybe 10% of these episodes are Celine talking about her ex-lover.
I wouldn't go that far, but it is most of her dialogue. Most of her screen time is devoted to that, for sure.
Brett, do you feel like there's a reason for that? I guess. I mean, there's
My-
clearly a reason
my-
for that, but
All right, we're just doing predictions willy nilly.
no, I'm asking. Oh, we
now?
ask you that all the time.
No, because my prediction is related to that, so I'm just going to do it now. Her former lover was Lou Sterren,
Okay. I like it. Right.
and we're going to find that out. Yeah, we'll probably find it out in the cold open of episode 8 when they go back to Silver Age Krypton and she's there.
I hope they
Okay.
go back to the Age of Legends and the cold open of episode 8. We better get some more Age of Legends this season. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
I think that they will. Yeah. Okay. I like that. That makes her even crazier.
Yeah.
Like, I'll tell you this, and I don't know. I know, Brendan, you jumped on this right away, but I was watching this with Michelle, and she was surprised. She did not see it coming.
Well, that's
Right.
good.
Yeah.
That's
good,
their
yeah.
intention.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably really cool if you didn't see it coming.
I mean, it's really. I did see it.
It's
coming.
cool.
still pretty
It's cool. But I mean, the shock of it and the realization was probably a good feeling.
Yeah,
to
for me,
have.
it was more exciting that they finally revealed it. It
Yeah.
was like, okay, now things change. It wasn't that I was surprised. It was just, oh, yes, now Lanfear. Here we go. Now she's Lanfear and no more Celine. So we don't have to listen to her talking about her lover anymore, although that's
Well,
actually
No,
not
we
true.
still probably.
I'm
Well-
sure. I have a feeling you still will.
Oh, wait a second, damn it.
What was she
Well,
doing?
if I'm,
What was
What
she
was she-
gonna do?
What was she doing? What was she like? What was she about to do that like Rand was freaking out.
I thought she was just going to channel to show him that she could channel.
Like it looked like what I thought was going to happen was, all right, so is that Rand? First of all, the channeling looked funny. Was that Rand? Rand was able to see her channel, right? Because he said, like, what are you doing?
True.
And I think the way the channeling effect was like, it was like we can kind of see it, but we couldn't, right? It was doing kind of like the weavy thing,
right.
But it was more of a distorted reality. We couldn't actually see the weaves. I think that's because that we're supposed to be seeing it from Rand's point of view, and he saw some sort of, he was able to see the channeling, but just not like female channelers see the channeling. Just he could just like tell that she was channeling. That's the impression I got from it, and that's why he was like,
he could feel she was channeling.
Yes, and I think that's why it looked like that on the screen. Like we didn't see the regular normal channeling that we normally see with the weaves. It was because we were seeing it from Rand's perspective, and that's kind of how he saw it.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Oh, you know what? There's another thing in that I really like because I want to point this out. Outside the hut, outside of that cabin, right? She like reacts like she's so horrified that he channeled, and then she's like, "You're not a monster. That's just a part of you." Blah blah blah. Then inside, when she's got him tied up and she's like writhing on him or whatever, she says, "I'm a monster too."
Yeah, you are a monster.
Right? Which I love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I love that.
Since we're in that part of the story now, why were they sleeping on the ground?
I don't know.
I think
outside,
so the Fade
10
could
feet
come
from the cabin.
I think they were outside sitting by the fire and they fell asleep.
All of the fights have to happen in the darkness, Brendan. That's why you couldn't have a candlelit fight with the Fade.
The fade coming out of the shadows effect was awesome.
Yeah,
because it just appears, and that was great.
Yeah.
But then you're right. The rest of it was pretty dark.
So those sword lessons Rand's taking really didn't pay off very well. I think he got disarmed within a matter of like 2 seconds by the Fade.
Well, he was taking sword lessons from an old, mentally ill man. Like
he didn't get stabbed by a sword, so it wasn't all bad.
True.
That's true. He had,
but yeah, he didn't handle himself well, particularly well. Frankly, I assume they were making out there, then they banged there, then they fell asleep there.
But they fully dressed themselves. They banged, then fully clothed themselves, and then passed out.
What, to sleep nude on a mountainside?
No, I'm saying it's weird. At that point, though, if you're going to put your clothes back on, you might as well just go inside and lie down. Like if you're getting up to put your clothes on.
I think
they were just sitting by the fire and cuddling and fell asleep.
I had to listen to you people talk about his coat for 15 minutes last week. We're getting to the bottom of this sleeping on the ground thing.
It wasn't.
So
I mean,
15
minutes.
I mentioned in my thing I would never choose to be outside if I could be inside.
Well, yes, that's not a vacation you would take. But like,
there's a bed right there.
I think they're outside because I think that Lanfear set that up. Right?
She totally did.
That's the whole thing's a setup, right? She's there so the Fade can come out and he can attack and rescue it. Like she's not in any danger.
Does that Fade know
she just
what
woke
the plan?
Up in time.
That Fade doesn't know.
No. He didn't know Internal Affairs was setting him up.
Do you think like the Fade had a script that it had to follow?
No.
The Fade and Lanfear were rehearsing beforehand?
Well, I think, I don't know, because if they actually want Rand alive, and I'm not necessarily convinced they do, but if they do, that's a big roll of the dice to just send a Fade after him without telling the Fade, look, you can't win.
Right. Just really scare him.
Just make it look good.
And they don't. I don't think we're ever going to get like a look into the rich, complex interior life of the faceless tooth monsters in their black cloaks. But I imagine that they don't particularly care if they live or die.
I think they want to live.
Yeah, I think maybe they did.
I mean, they're in the book. They like talk and everything. So
yeah,
I think they do care in the book. But again, I think if Lanfear says you have to do this, I don't think they're like, no.
Yeah, if they say no, they're dead. So
yeah, that's okay.
But Lanfear's really playing Rand hard in this with like her first reaction to him channeling, almost horrified by it, and like is gonna wants him to leave or doesn't want to be with him anymore, and then slowly switches it around. I was like, oh man, she's good.
Masterful.
She's good.
So yeah, there's something there I want to say for the second part of it,
And then,
of this
and what was
extraordinarily long episode.
What was the key? What was the key thing that turned her, right, or changed her attitude? Right?
Oh, that's what I want to. That's what I want to say later.
Right, when he says that he loves
You
her.
can say it now. That's okay.
Well,
I don't
can't say
even
that.
know if like he meant that he was in love with her when he said it.
Yeah, he said people he loves. So she's like, wait, you
Right.
love me?
So like he loves a bunch of different people.
Yeah.
And then she took it as like, you're in love with me. And then he
Yeah.
just like ran with it.
Bricker, you just saying you love things you see.
Yeah. I love
Hello,
Fade.
I love
I
Lanfear.
love Fade.
I love rock.
I love that fear.
I love fade.
I love horse.
I love cat. I love cabin. That's right over there.
So
There's
anyway,
a fire on and
What are we
everything.
doing
You just
over
go
here?
inside.
and she's like, no, stay out here. It's nicer by the fire. With the channeling, right, when she's starting to channel and like reveal herself, I thought, and I was starting to say this before and I trailed off, I almost thought she was going to change what she looked like. Right?
I
Is that
thought she was
when
going
you
to
get,
change
like,
her outfit.
Oh,
I
just
thought
her
she because
outfit?
like it was like focusing on her. It was focusing on her sleeves and her midsection.
Yes.
That's where she's riding him. So whatever. But like, I thought she was gonna like change her outfit to reveal. I don't think she's gonna. I think that's what Lanfear looks like.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be like,
I think so too,
and
but I
this
was
is
trying
my.
I thought like demon wings were going to come up.
I was trying to figure out what she was going to do.
God, I
Like,
hope not.
is she just channeling just to show him that she can channel, or was she going to do something? I thought she was going to do something, and then she got interrupted. Thanks, Moraine.
Probably she was,
he was
but
about-
who knows what.
I think he was about to find out where the third one goes.
Yeah. So, yeah,
I think
got
Rosalind
I
was
got
the
the
third one, and we know where that
Yeah,
went.
she showed
She
she
knows
showed her
where
where
it
the third one
It's
went.
true.
That was
She ruined
such a unbelievable shock to me.
I was totally
I did
surprised.
not see it coming at all.
And then she
at
slits
all.
her throat, and I'm like, oh
She
boy.
slits her throat.
Just a little extra,
So
just in case I missed the heart.
that happened, and there was a brief moment where I was like, "Oh my God, Matt Hatch is gonna have a heart attack." Because there was I literally thought for like until like she's like, "I can't kill her." I was like, "Holy shit! Did they just kill
Oh, wait,
Lanfear?
they
They just punked
watched it.
Lanfear out."
Yeah. And okay.
Lanfear
so,
is Matt's favorite thing.
Yes. Yeah.
in
So
the
Moraine
universe.
comes and saves the day, and very quickly gets Rand to trust her and convince her after he's been banging and in love with Celine for a long time, and he just goes with her. I thought that was a little bit too quick. Like it was a little too easy for her to be like, "Have I ever lied to
She
you?"
was
And then
like,
he's like, "Oh, well, okay, I guess
This
I'm going with
is
you."
Lanfear. I can't lie. That is Lanfear.
That's
Right.
true, right?
Right.
Like, all right.
Right.
Like,
She's
you
been
literally-
lying to you.
Yeah.
I cannot lie to you.
Yes.
That is Lanfear. We have to run.
That's
And
true.
then she doesn't look back until he gets. She just
He
runs.
just grabs his shit, and runs after her.
Right.
Like if he would like it wouldn't have been out of place if he went Lanfear and ran out of there, because that's kind of what it was like.
Because he me. Lanfear
Lanfear. Let's go, Scoob. Like,
Yes.
just runs and
runs in
plays with his
place.
feet in the air. And then a puff of smoke, and he's got like his a red-shaped hole in the door.
Yeah.
oh man.
But she's not dead.
And then she's not dead. Her eyes pop open.
Of course he's not dead.
Black stuff. I mean, they tell you she's not dead. I can't kill her like that. Which it does beg the question: can you kill her Forsaken? How can you kill her Forsaken? Because like she killed her twice. She like stabbed her
that
through
was
the heart
good.
and cut her
And slit
throat. Like that's extra dead.
Yeah, I'm actually
She
curious
says,
about
she says
this.
at one point.
Go ahead,
She
Brian.
says at one point that she's the most dangerous of the Forsaken, and in the like the recap, they make sure to replay the part where she talks about how Ishamael is the Dark One's most
Lieutenant.
powerful lieutenant. And look, I know we've only seen two so far. They can't all be the most something.
Well,
They're
all
not.
He's
has
the
to-
most
one of them
dangerous
has to-
because of
No,
One of
they're
them
not.
has to be like just okay.
There's plenty that are just okay.
Well,
I think there's two that are the top.
well, there's
They're
the
the
most
first ones.
Well,
right.
they're-
Well, there's
Some of the
They
most
jumped
okay
the-
ones aren't going to be on the show.
yeah. Well, the
That's
most
fine.
ones are
they
just not as
jump the gun.
yeah. So Brendan, some of them are going to be like the most accomplished musician of the Forsaken. It's not going to be like they're all like
this one is the best at macrame of all of the chosen.
like those are the types of best we're
This
going
is
to
the
get
tallest Forsaken.
or most. Yeah, there is a tallest Forsaken. We'll get
Okay.
There
There's-
is the shortest.
there's the
There is a
shortest Forsaken.
Well, shortest male Forsaken. I don't think he's the shortest of all.
No, he's actually. I think he's supposed to be my height in real life, but like,
Well, I guess all the male Forsaken are tall.
yeah, I think it's like I. Well, we'll get it some other day. We'll talk about my favorite Forsaken.
I like how in the coming attraction. You guys watch the coming attractions for
Ray
next
Wilson.
week.
No, I,
Wait, Wilson.
coming attractions for episode 5. I don't want to go into the. Here,
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
fine.
Oh, I didn't even know there were.
I didn't watch
just
them
get-
anyway, but
I
I
was-
want to try to.
Watch
Okay.
the credits. They show after.
I just
Okay.
forget. I just
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Spoiler-free version before we go into our ratings.
No.
All right.
Brendan.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I liked Nynaeve's deadpan. I can see why they don't let you train novices.
Yes.
After Leandrin's speech about how being an Aes Sedai sucks and the world is a nightmare.
I love thirsty water.
Oh,
I heard you
yes.
channeled in the arches, Bay.
That was
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
I like that.
Oh,
guy.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love that guy. I hope he comes back.
Me too. That guy's awesome.
They're not here, but I could
Just-
train you. I could train with you. Hope you don't pick red.
That's it.
That was the best. That was the line. That was the line. I was like, all right, he's my new favorite character.
That's it.
Thirsty water.
Hopefully he teams up with Tom in season 3. All right, that's it. I think we're good.
All right.
Ready for your ratings?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give
Yeah,
it.
go first.
Yes.
I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna give it a 3.5. Yeah. Give me. Let's do 3.25. 3.25. I
Okay.
thought it was a little slow in the beginning. I mean, there were certain. It picked up a little bit towards the second half. Again, it's like I'm struggling with like the land parts in this episode. It was just. I don't know. I feel like the Land and Moraine like storyline together is kind of just dragging a little bit for me. I was a little bit more happy with Moraine's storyline because her sister, and that was interesting and that was new, and it wasn't all it's just about Land and Moraine from the Moraine perspective. So I like the White Tower stuff. That was pretty good. The second half especially, and then not much Perrin. Matt. I was very surprised to find out that Matt and Min are going to Carienne. That was kind of like a head scratcher for me. So I'm excited to see what's going to go on there. And then obviously the reveal at the end was good. So I'll give it a 3.25.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going back. I'm going to give it a 4. I was thinking of 3.75, but I think the parts that were good were very good. So I'll eke it up to a 4.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. I feel like, although I will say, Joe's been harping on the Land Moraine storyline since
Yeah.
episode 2. This was the first part where I'm like, Land, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like, just get over it. But I loved the Maxim, Ivan, Alana stuff.
I
thought
know.
they were great in that storyline, so it saved that piece for me. And I thought everything else was really good. I didn't find it slow. I found it like building momentum to a banana pants ending. So
Yeah.
I like the episode very much.
I agree with you. It was a lot of build up and setup. Like I feel like this was another setup episode, but I feel like it set up the end of the episode. Like right. So we got
Right.
like two kind of cliffhangery endings with Lanfear and then also with the girls and Leandrin. So everything was kind of a build up, but I felt like everything except for maybe the Moraine stuff was kind of just like, okay. So that's why I gave it the 3. That's why I gave it the 3.25. Sorry.
The person I'm the most curious about every one of these is Brendan. So what do you got?
I'm also giving it a 4. I thought the parts that I didn't particularly care for were over before I realized I didn't particularly care for them. Like the parent stuff was so short, and nothing happens in the Matt and Min storyline that I don't like specifically. But even though I don't have any sort of connection to the character, I don't like what's going on with Matt Like, I feel like he should be doing more stuff and have a bigger role. But it was such a little part of the episode, which is part of the problem, that it didn't even bother me that much. And everything else I thought was really good.
All right.
Predictions. Who didn't give any predictions? I know myself and Brendan already had some thrown out there.
For next episode, what did we predict last time? By the way, I don't even remember.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What did we predict last time? Joe predicted White Cloaks. Nope. Jen predicted Perrin meets an Aiel. That didn't happen.
Yikes.
I have written down here, Tom said something bad happens, which is probably wrong, but technically correct. So
something bad happens? That's what
there's no way that's all you said. I just probably stopped writing it down halfway through. I honest to God cannot read my own handwriting for what I predicted. So
gosh, you made a real prediction too.
I remember. I remember. I predicted that another of the Dark Friends would be revealed, which I don't think happened.
No,
I think that you can get Celine. Well, you said one of the people from the Dark Friends social was revealed.
Oh, okay.
Specifically, yes.
Yeah,
so,
that's right. I think you're right.
So you can hear me, guys?
Hey, Joe's back.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So do you think? Right, so we did get a Dark Friend. We got a Forsaken revealed, but I mean, Leandrin is clearly evil.
Nah, Brendan's not convinced
that
Brendan's not convinced that she's clearly evil.
Well, then don't watch the behind the scenes for this episode.
Oh gosh,
that's all I'll say. Did. It was spoilery at the end. I was like, oh wow. I was like,
they tell you in those things like there are spoilers in these.
Yeah, he said flat out this is this and that is that, and I was like, well, they kind of left it, either way at the end. But
I want to take that back because he doesn't say what he says is he doesn't say something. He doesn't say that she's a Dark Friend. He doesn't say that. He said something very specific, and we'll talk about it more when Brendan isn't here because I don't want to.
Okay.
But he doesn't say that Leandrin is Black Aja or a Dark Friend or anything like that. He said something specific. Is a spoiler.
I'll tell you exactly what he said. As we let Brendan go. Can we let him go?
Wait, I didn't make my prediction.
I'm
sorry. Predictions for the next 6 months?
No, Tom.
Oh, I thought. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, I'm going to predict. Talking about last week's prediction.
That's right. Sorry.
I'm going to predict that Varen arrives at the White Tower in the next episode.
Okay.
Okay. I think in the next episode, Lan will go to Carrion as well, or make the decision to go to Carrion as well.
Okay.
Okay.
All
right. That's
all right.
Brendan, you made a prediction?
That was a weird one, guys. I did, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not necessarily for next episode, but it's for later in the season.
All right.
I mean, it could happen in the next episode. Who knows?
Could happen. You actually said episode 8, so you made a prediction for episode 8. I like it. I like the foresight.
Okay.
Brendan, thank you for joining us. So when we get to
episode 7, I'll make a prediction for episode 5.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Brendan, as always, thank you for joining us.
Good night.
As always, thanks for having me, guys. Good night, everybody.
Good night, bud.
Yeah, spoiler stuff. So what you were going to say specifically there. Rafe says Black Aja.
I didn't think he did. I thought he said working for Ishamael.
And then he says Black Aja. He says Leandrin is Black Aja. He said.
Well, I also just did. I wanted to give Brendan. Brendan felt like they still were teasing that out.
They were. It was teased out, and the fact that he said it flat out in the behind the episode, I was like, whoa. I was like, I think you went a little bit too far. Like, I don't think everybody was convinced.
You know what? I think that it's a visual tell. She's in black.
She was in black, right?
Oh, at the end?
She's not in red. She's wearing black.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
And so, like, that's supposed to remove the doubt for you, if you had doubt. But Brendan was like, yeah, it could still be, like, she had to do this, and she's, like, being manipulated or whatever. And he's like, she may not have known. Like, maybe somebody else was supposed to meet Min, and Ishii killed that guy, and he showed up instead. And I was like, Ishii wasn't. I was like, I'm pretty sure that he wasn't really there. That was like in her head.
That was in a dream.
That was a dream, right?
That was in a dream. Yeah, it was clear. You could see like the weird.
Well, it said too on the X-ray that was Telerenriad.
It said Telerenriad.
It says Telerenriad?
Yeah, it does.
That's awesome.
Just like it said it in the Dark Friend social.
It did, yeah.
Really?
They have not
say
said
it in the Rand.
So why did you bring your kid to Telerenriad?
I don't think she brings the kid. Like, I don't know if it's a voluntary thing that she does. I don't know.
he
I
brings.
don't want to talk about it.
All right,
Let's
all
not
right,
talk
all
about
right.
that. Let's talk about episode 4 and some of the things.
Okay.
I have a note about the uncle that ruined them. That's King Laman or Laman,
Laman.
of course, right?
Barthanes is her son.
Yes, right.
obviously.
He's got to
I
be her
imagine
son.
so.
Yes, that's exactly
Yeah.
what I thought. I was like, that's who
Because
Barthanes
Barthanes
is.
is her nephew or cousin or something, right, in the book?
Cousin, it's cousin.
A
Yeah.
I think cousin or
Yeah.
uncle. It might be an uncle, actually. I don't remember. He's either an uncle or a cousin. But yeah, so
Well, whatever.
so now she's going to be his nephew, her nephew, which, okay, now we know why there's a queen. Because they wanted to work Barthanes in and they wanted to do it. And this is the way they're doing it. I'm okay with it. Good.
So does this mean that the Barthanes has a party and Matt actually gets to go to it?
Yes, it does.
I
And
think
I'm betting.
so.
I'm telling you, I think that's where the dagger scene is going to be
Oh boy.
at the party.
Oh.
And I think that- Yeah, I think the dagger scene's going to be at the party. And
And he was dressed differently, too, in that scene, right? With the dagger. He was dressed a little nicer.
I don't know. I think he's still in the. I think he's
Go-
still just.
Maybe
I think he's just like above
Rand's-
the whole.
Yeah, he could be
season.
Rand's servant.
Is he going to be Rand's
in that
servant,
outfit.
like in the books?
But I think that.
Oh, if they do that whole play, that would be great.
What you call it? It still puts in play my prediction that Patton Fane is going to kill everybody at the party.
Do you think Rand gets a wound there at the party then?
So
Is he going to get 2
I-
wounds in this one? Is that what that scene is? So, right, I think that's one of our thoughts, right? That Min's vision of Matt apparently stabbing Rand isn't that. I think it's Rand got stabbed and Matt's like kind of catching him or whatever.
Or pulling
Yeah,
the
that-
dagger out.
As a-
maybe?
as a-
Well, no,
or in
Matt-
defense.
Matt has it's like a cut, and I watched it again. We watched Michelle had to catch up, so we watched the whole season before yesterday, right before season episode 4 dropped. And so Matt has the dagger. It cuts to Min, and then he's holding Rand.
Yeah.
And it could be stabbing him, or he could be Rand could have fallen and he's catching him, or whatever. He doesn't have to be the one to do it. He could. The dagger is not bloody when he's holding it, but
It's
he
hard,
could have
it's
pulled
hard
it up.
to tell because it's
Right.
It's
It's also not real.
ethereal
Yeah.
vision type
Yeah.
feel.
So I think there's opportunity for that not to happen. But I also think that the show is buck nutty enough that Matt could stab Rand in this show. That could be something that happens.
Yeah.
Someone else pointed. I can't remember where I saw this. But someone else pointed out the scene from season 1 where they're talking to each other when they see Logain, and they're promising each other that they won't let that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people have posited that Rand's going nuts, and Matt's trying to trying to stop that
Put
from
him
happening.
out of his
in that
misery.
scene. Yeah, or just stop him from maybe like killing everybody or something.
Like a Rand lightning the Sean Chen and his own troops kind of scene.
Right, something like that.
What's his name?
Bashir
has to,
jumps,
like, punch.
jumps, knocks him off the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's riding on the horse when he's like
That's right.
calling down. And Bashir jumps from his horse and tackles him off the horse. Because Bashir is the best character. And I doubt he's going to be in this show. But so I thought Lanfear was about to lay some compulsion down on Rand, and I thought she was channeling the true power in that scene. And that's why Rand could kind of see it, but kind of not. And that we didn't see it the same way that we saw women channeling. That was what I thought, but I was very uncertain of that because I also thought she was going to make her clothes change, and that didn't happen.
How, like in the book, if you stab a Forsaken through the heart and slit their throat, they're dead, right?
Yeah.
So,
pretty much.
If she gets stabbed through the chest
Yes.
in the Great Hunt and is alive and fine
Yes.
in the Dragon Reborn. So
But his throat doesn't get slit.
no, but like they clearly are capable of surviving war. Now, whether that's because they can just teleport to someone who can heal them or whatever, we don't really know. I mean, that happens later on for Moghedien, but like
maybe with the true power you can heal yourself, like with the one power.
Or
you
is
can
that
heal
the
yourself.
dark one bringing her back to life?
Okay, so we
Could
could
be that
Saw
too.
in her
So
eyes.
yeah, the saw, right? That was the saw.
Right.
I noticed it again. I was like closely
Yeah.
looking for it on my second watch, and I was like, oh, those are definitely saw. So maybe
Yeah.
that's your indication, Tom, that she was channeling the true power.
true power. Yeah, because I do feel like she was like, he said he loved me, and we're gonna be together. It's gonna be great, and I'll make sure of it because I'm gonna manipulate his mind. Because he was scared, so I felt like she was doing something to him, like, or that he felt like he didn't just
He
get the sense
saw
that she
what
was
was
channeling.
She tied him up to the bed and then sat
But
on
that
top of
was-
him and
No,
said,
he
like,
was-
I'm a monster too.
No, he
Like, I'd be scared.
he saw what she was doing. I'm telling you, he saw the channeling. That's why he was getting freaked out, because he saw what we saw. That's what I think. I think he saw exactly what we saw.
But I also got a sense that he was feeling something or sensing that something was going to happen to him.
Quite possible. I think that's definitely possible. Whatever the hell she was doing, I don't know, warming the bed. Who knows? I don't know. We don't know what she was going to do. You think laying compulsion? I like that. She played her damsel in distress part, like we got in the Great Hunt, so they threw that in there.
Yeah.
I like how they're working these things in there. I didn't really have much spoiler stuff in here. I think we touched on a lot of it already. Like we talked about the Crescent Inn. We talked about the Kinslayer's dagger. Brendan called Luce Theron being her ex-lover. I don't know. Do you guys have anything else?
I'm losing you again.
Yeah, no
hear
idea
that.
what you
Okay.
said.
That's good.
Can you hear me now?
You didn't really have much spoiler stuff. Yeah,
Yes. We have more on Landfear?
yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I had on the spoiler side.
More. Alana replacing Myrell, possibly.
Yeah, I think they're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they put in the Alana is the one that will have sex with you to help you get over losing her water thing, and that
It didn't work.
not.
It didn't work with Steppen though.
Well, I don't think they
didn't
didn't
have
have sex.
sex
They didn't
with
have sex yet.
I know.
Matt's not lucky at all yet, and I don't know when or it's gotta come. You gotta think,
Yeah.
but I don't know when or if.
I made the same
question.
note. Matt's not
Yeah,
lucky yet. When?
Yeah, exceptionally unlucky. Like loses all the time.
Yeah. Well, I think they're trying to drill it into your head that he loses a lot. He has terrible luck. So when he does have his good luck, it's like, oh yeah, I remember this guy having terrible luck because they made a lot of points of showing it on the TV show.
I do think, and I understand Jen, and Brendan's expressed the same thing for different reasons. Like, he's done so little this season that, it's a little, when is he gonna be a character that has agency or whatever? But they've done such a good job of, shitting on this guy that when he eventually gets, his super luck powers, people are gonna be, behind him 100%. Be like, yeah, take all their money, buy some nice clothes, get a horse. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Are we ready to put to bed, Tom, your theory that Elias is Hopper?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I posted that on our Twitter, I think, yesterday. Yeah, I was really disappointed that I really liked that theory. I thought that
That was
theory
a
had
good
legs.
theory.
But yeah, no, it looks like they're separate people. And now I'm curious. Now I don't know what's gonna happen when they eventually run into White Cloaks.
I'm guessing Elias is not going to die.
I think Elias is going to just run. And Perrin isn't.
I
know.
don't think he would
I
run.
don't know.
They might part
Well,
ways.
he
You don't think they might part? So do you think Elias is there until the end of the season, or do you think they part ways at some point?
Elias has got to leave somehow because he's not going to stick around all the time. But why would Perrin's just going to be walking around by himself?
Yeah, I don't know. He's still looking for the caravan.
I think when he
I mean,
gets
unless Elias is I'm not taking you to go rescue them. I'm taking you away to live with the wolves. And Perrin's like, well, fuck that.
Yeah, that's what I
I'm
think.
gonna go rescue them.
That's what I think is going to happen. I think Perrin's going to be like, well, they are following them, right? I think they made a point.
he thinks they're following. Yeah, he doesn't really know.
So Elias
he's
is
like, we
already-
haven't seen the caravan in a long time.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So I guess you're led to believe that they are going after the caravan. I don't know. That's a good question. Do they part ways, or what's going to happen first? The White Cloak? Because we saw images of Perrin and Avienda fighting the White Cloaks. We didn't see anybody else there besides Perrin and Avienda. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if that was just on purpose, because we didn't see Bane and Chiad. We don't know if they're there in that scene. We don't know if Elias is there in that scene. So I don't know. I guess I like that. I don't necessarily know what's going to happen with Elias, but he's not going to Falm, I don't think. So he's either dying or they're
I doubt
splitting
it.
up.
I don't think he's going to die if Hopper is also going to die. That would be weird if both of them died.
Maybe Hopper doesn't die. Maybe Elias dies. Tom, you still got your theory where Elias dies and he's Perrin's spirit guide. And Hopper's just a wolf.
Hopper's like his ghost.
No. There's just...
No, like Jon Snow.
Oh, yes, yeah,
Like
yeah.
his dire wolf.
Yes.
Like he stays with him. He's like an animal companion.
Okay, I'll go for that for now.
I don't know.
They released two. We don't normally talk about other things that happened besides the episodes. But they released 2 additional character posters after
I saw
episode
that.
4.
Yeah,
They
Varen
released
and
a,
Alana, which was cool. I was like, ooh, are we gonna get a Varen and Alana team up this season, or
Well, I think they
probably
might both
next
be in the
season.
tower.
definitely
You don't
next
think that-
season?
Yeah.
Oh,
And then,
yeah, when Varen goes to the tower, there might be some interaction there.
Yeah.
And then Ingtar and Loyal get a
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Get a poster.
Well, they're captured together, so it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Can we? Yeah, I said this in the show, but I had to pause when we saw how old Maureen was, and then I had to try to figure out what this means for she was 50 years old when she found out about Rand.
Yeah, I thought there was some implications in the first season that she was not an Aes Sedai when she heard about Rand being born. I guess I must have made that up in my own head.
Yeah,
well, we're gonna see that flashback.
Right, and that makes sense that they were in blue in that flashback as opposed to in white, or that if they're Aes Sedai who see that, and that's what dedicates them to okay, well now I'm gonna have to be the new Amberlin or whatever. That changes things.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, and it makes more sense that Alana knew, didn't just know Moraine when they were novices, knows Moraine as an Aes Sedai and knows how she was then, and then there was a change.
So so the change, right? I guess we didn't talk about this, but the change is, are they referring to her finding out that the dragon was reborn? Now, Alana clearly doesn't know that. She knows there was a change, and it's just just out of nowhere, she just changed, and we have no idea.
But Lan knows.
Yeah, Lan knows.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alana doesn't know. So I thought that was interesting. It was it seemed odd though, if you didn't know that Alana, what the change was and why Alana doesn't know what it is, it just seemed kind of weird. On the surface, it looked like bad writing. But
yeah, they were talking about Nynaeve, and then she's just Moraine changed 20 years ago.
Yes.
We're not even talking about Moraine.
I wish we would have known it before, but I think
it just happened. What did she say? All of a sudden she went cold. It was very
ice.
Like ice or whatever. I was like, this is kind of dumb, but we know what really happened, so it's not dumb. But I could see how viewers who don't know the show are just what's going on here? And this is kind of stupid.
Not a natural piece of dialogue.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
Or just good writing. It seems like lazy writing. But like I said, we know what's going on, so.
And they've given you enough hints that you know what's going on too. You know that something happened 20 years ago when she found out that the dragon was born. Yeah. She left to go on the mission, and that's all you need to know. She got this.
And I guess that's supposed to show that Alana doesn't know what happened. If people are wondering if Alana knows about the dragon, then that's supposed to be the indication that she doesn't.
No, but I do like that more of the characters are just clearly realized the last battle is on the way, things are happening. Mm-hmm. In the books there's more resistance to that being real. People are don't want to admit it. But at least amongst the Aes Sedai that we see, they're openly talking about the fact that it's happening, And I think that's it's an interesting change. Or at least Alana's very present about it, very we're getting all these powerful channelers are coming up and their tools that the pattern's giving us, right? So she's the right person for the show to get this information that a Forsaken is here. Mm-hmm. What do you think they're gonna do with it? Do you think that she's gonna go off after them? Do you think she's gonna bet she's gonna tell Lan hey, this poem that we found that you had, that's what it says.
She said Lan can't know.
She did?
Yeah.
Well, so I don't know. I read this line online, and I don't know if this is the
Maxim
exact
says
line. It said
that it's Lan.
Lan must not know what this is about.
Yes.
Yeah.
But does it say Lan must not know or Lan must not know?
No, there's no way that Lan knows what that letter says and would still be here. That's how I read that line.
But it's not we can't tell Lan. He mustn't know what this is.
Yeah, I took it as Lan.
Or it could be both.
We can't tell Lan what this is. That's what I thought that line meant. We don't tell Lan.
No, I took it the opposite. I took it the way well, he can't understand what that. There's no way he'd be here.
Yeah, he doesn't understand what this means.
Right.
Oh, okay. Wow. Good. Okay. There you go. That cleared that up for me because I took.
Well, I don't know.
When he was reading it, He looked frustrated while he was reading it.
Maybe he's frustrated because he can't read the old tongue and they can.
I don't
for
know,
some
but even
reason.
if he can, maybe he just doesn't know
can
what
s-
he's reading.
he
Like,
can speak
even if
the
he's
old
reading and
tongue.
understands it, he might not understand what it's
He
about.
speaks the old tongue and says
he's
he.
never
So-
heard of the dog.
He says he can
I don't
speak.
know.
He says he can speak the old tongue in season 1, where he translates.
Oh, right,
90s.
he translates it.
I don't know if he can read it though. That's different than reading it, obviously.
Yeah, speaking and reading are different. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he just doesn't know what it is.
Or maybe he just doesn't know.
But for some
Right.
reason, Maxim knows what it is.
It's Maxim knows whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this.
And
They,
Yvonne can read it too. I don't know. Maybe that's a requirement for Alana's orders. She makes them learn the old tongue.
No, he knows. Even if he knows the old tongue, Maxim
For Alana, the old tongue
like
means something
immediately
different.
knows like this is Lanfear. Like they all know it's Lanfear. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I saw some sort of like previews for upcoming episodes, and I don't want to answer that question because I know the answer to it.
okay,
Okay.
I'll abstain from that one.
sounds good.
Yeah. Do you have anything else before we wrap it up?
I'm good.
That was
I'm
this was
excited.
quite an eventful, exciting episode. I can't wait to hear what was said when I was gone. And apologies again for my internet going out, of course, at the worst time. But at least it only went out for a little bit, and I was able to figure out to call into the Zoom. So now I know the plans. Now we know our plans, everybody. If your internet goes out, call into the Zoom. We could still do the recording.
Right.
Okay.
So we learned something. I want to remind everyone to follow us on social media. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Join us over on Discord to continue the conversation there. We also post some videos on YouTube, so go check out our YouTube page to like and subscribe. Rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts, and check out our merchandise and Patreon pages. You can support us that way. Last thoughts, Jen, Tom?
No.
Can't wait to episode 5.
No.
Thanks everyone for listening, and you'll hear us next time.